अच्छा, यहाँ पे हमें कुछ करना है क्या? दिस मीटिंग इज बीइंग लाइव स्ट्रीम्ड।
हाँ, वो भी कर रहे हैं।
By staying in this meeting, you consent to being live streamed. Anyone with
वो सर जस्ट आप उस पे गॉट इट पे क्लिक कर दीजिए, नथिंग टू डू, गॉट इट पे क्लिक कर दीजिए, खत्म।
हाँ, कर दिए हैं।
बस उतना ही करना है सर।
अच्छा, मैं अगर अपना वीडियो को ऑफ रखो, कोई दिक्कत है?
नहीं सर, आप रिसोर्स पर्सन है, आपका वीडियो विजिबल होना चाहिए।
ओके ओके ओके, हम पूछ ले रहे हैं।
चलिए, इसको शेयर कैसे करना है? कॉपी स्ट्रीम लिंक
सीधा वहां पे जो है आपका राजीव सर, ऊपर में एड्रेस बार को
स्ट्रीम लिंक कर दिए, उसको तुम अब ग्रुप में डाल देंगे।
ठीक है।
अच्छा, ये राजीव,
हाँ,
ये बोल रहे हैं कि जब हम अभी शेयर अगर हम कर रहे हैं, लिख रहा है दिस विल स्टॉप अदर स्क्रीन शेयरिंग, डू यू वांट टू कंटिन्यू?
थोड़ी ना, आप अभी शेयर करेंगे।
अच्छा,
जब हम बोलेंगे तब।
अच्छा,
राजीव सर,
हाँ,
राजीव, I'm allowing the participants to come in the meeting.
ठीक है।
Okay sir.
राजीव,
हाँ सर, बोलिए।
यहाँ पे ना स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट एट वर्क होगा, ऑन वर्क कौन लिख दिया है?
अच्छा सॉरी, एट वर्क होगा। ठीक है,
हाँ,
एक मिनट। Good evening, one and all. This is Kumar Rajiv, PGT Computer and STNC of Grizzly Vidyalaya. Welcomes you all, the head and teachers of Kodarma District Sahodaya Complex on online in-house training. All the participants are requested to follow the guidelines that was circulated beforehand. Kindly keep your mic off and video on. In case of any query, you can raise your hand. Put your query in the chat box. And while entering the attendance assessment come feedback form, kindly put your school number, teacher's ID, and affiliation number along with you. Kindly do not put anything else. Now on this, with the permission of District Training Coordinator, Mr. O.P. Yadav sir, and Training Coordinator, Mr. Salendra sir, Principal Modern School, I would like to request Mr. Supratim Bose, resource person for the day, to conduct the session. And the topic, today's topic is there, stress management at work. So I request, sir, Salan sir, should I request Mr. Bose sir to conduct the seminar?
Yes, carry on. Start.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
now.
So I request Mr. Supratim Bose sir, hand over to you, sir. Bose sir, yeah.
Okay. A very good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So first and foremost, I would like to pay my respect to the school heads, principal, coordinators, and my dear esteemed colleagues. Today's topic, which I'm going to harp upon, is stress management at work, a very relevant topic. And it gives me a great privilege and honor to be in front of you. It gives me a great privilege and honor to be in front of you. And I have been given a chance to present this topic, which is very relevant in today's time. And first and foremost, it's a great honor. And I would like to express my gratitude and thankfulness to my school management for giving me a chance, to Sahodaya Complex authorities to give me a chance, and obviously to my dear esteemed colleagues, the respected school heads. And I'm privileged and honored that I'm in front of you in a panel of distinguished and experienced teaching staff. So I want to share one screen before you so that we can go on with our discussion in a very effective manner. Now, is it visible? Is
Yes.
the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Is the screen visible? I hope the slide is visible, sir. Okay, thank you. So the stress management at work is my topic for today. We are in the pandemic times, and besides pandemic times also, we are always subjected to these kind of stresses, which we will discuss in detail. What are the various kinds of stress that can occur in a day-to-day life? What are the various types of stress, the effects of stress, the causes of stress, and last but not least, the various types of methodologies and remedies and solutions which are associated with this kind of stress management. Stress management at work. Am I audible to all of you, sir? My dear colleagues, am I audible to all of you? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So before starting the main subject, let us first discuss what exactly a stress means. A stress, what is a stress? a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. That is called a stress. Any type of change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. A state of mental or emotional strain, suppose we are in a day-to-day basis, we are subject to different kinds of adverse or demanding circumstances. Adverse circumstance, like we are now in an online mode. In a day-to-day basis, we are communicating with the students. So we are not basically teachers now, my dear colleagues. We are basically communicators. If I'm not wrong, we are basically communicators. So this is a very demanding circumstances. We have to meet the day-to-day deadline of finishing the syllabus, explaining to the students in a proper manner. Adverse situation when we suppose we are residing in a particular city, suddenly we are told to move into another place. So that can be an adverse situation in a new environment, in a new types of surroundings. We'll come into that in detail in my subsequent slides. So a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. And this, the net effect, what can be the net effect of this? The net effect of this can be the physical, emotional, or the psychological strain. It can take a toll. It can take a toll on our mental health, on our physical health, and can cause damage. The damage can be permanent, the damage can be temporary. Based on these two aspects, ladies and gentlemen, we can categorize stress into two distinct parts. One is a chronic stress and one is a acute stress, which we will come into greater detail. Before that, a little bit of discussion about the topic. Stress is a daily reality for many people. Don't you think so that stress, when we are commuting on a daily basis, suppose we are commuting on a daily basis, don't you think we are stressed? We have to reach our school in due time. So that's a daily stress. If we are commuting from a large distance, we have to cover a large distance, changing buses, autos, or taxis. We have to reach the school. Or we are working somewhere in corporate sectors, on private organizations. We have to reach on time. That's a daily stress. Otherwise, we can lose a day. We can lose a day's leave. Sometimes this becomes a stress on a daily basis. We have to come and perform our duty. Sometimes it becomes a stress to us. Second, a natural reaction to high pressure situations. Sometimes this is a natural reaction to high pressure situation. Meeting deadlines. We are teachers, we are communicators. So what does it mean by deadlines? By the authorities, we are given something to dictate, to explain to the students on a day-to-day basis. We communicate with parents, the stakeholders of school sector, the parents, the guardian, the students. We have to teach them properly. We have to meet the deadline. We have to finish the syllabi at a particular time. Otherwise, there can be a problem because we have to revise the chapters. So these type of stresses, which are short-lived, fall under this kind of. Next, yes, stress can be anything that gives you a problem. Definitely, sir. Stress can be anything that can give us a problem. So that can be short-lived. That, let us make this very interactive. That can be short-lived and that can be long. When it is short, it is acute. When it is long, for longer duration, that can be chronic. We will go into greater detail. This kind of constant stress can lead to both physical and emotional health problems. These kinds of constant stress can lead to physical problem and it can lead to emotional health problems, which will go into greater detail. Physical problem, we can have heart palpitations, we can have a pain at our back, there can be high blood pressure, then we can be dizziness, and emotional problems, we can be sad, we can get frustrated, and we can get demotivated, demoralized. Now coming to the broad categories, there are basically two types of stresses, which I've already told just now, that we have acute stress, and we have chronic stress. Now, what is an acute stress? Ladies and gentlemen, acute stress is on a daily basis, which is short-lived, which subsides very quickly because we need to have that resource to subside it down. But chronic stress means every day we are stressed up in a stressful situation. We are working like the salesperson, the medical representatives, the guys from the IT sector. They are on a constant pressure every day to deliver. Deliverables are there. They have to deliver. Otherwise, there will be a problem. Now let us discuss these things in detail.
आजकल तो कहीं कुछ ना देता है, हालांकि he is no one to.
Someone has switched on his microphone.
Please mute your mic. Those who are there in the meeting, please mute your mic. Let the session go on.
Okay, can I continue, sir? Okay, thank you.
Continue. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. An acute stress reaction occurs when symptoms develop due to a particular stressful event. The word acute means the symptoms develop quickly but do not usually last long. Acute stress, when symptoms develop due to a particular stressful event. What can be that stressful event? Suppose we are commuting daily to our school or to our office premises. We know that if we do not sign the attendance register, then there can be a problem. So this may be, I'm not talking about everyone, to someone, it can be a stressful event because if I don't reach my destination in due time, I can lose a day. But the word acute here means it develops quickly, but once we sign the register, once we perform other work, it does not last long, it starts subsiding down. It affects almost everyone from time to time. This can be to salesperson, it can be to the IT sector guys, people who are working in shopping malls, those who are working in other private sectors, having different kinds of new assignment. Suppose I am adept in doing something, suppose one fine morning I given. So when I reach my office, I am given a new assignment. So that can be a little bit of problem to all of us. But if we can solve it, then it can subside down very easily. It relates to events and pressure of present and near future. Ladies and gentlemen, just now I've reiterated that it can be events on a daily basis. For example, reaching your office and school premises in due time, or in the near future. What can be the near future? Suddenly, आपको एक इंचार्ज बनाया गया. Suppose you are made an in charge of something. You have to conduct a function. You have to conduct a very important function or an important event, and you're made an in charge in the near future. Suppose after 10 days or 15 days. So that pressure builds up. Sometimes that pressure builds up. And when that pressure builds up, it harps, it bangs on your head on a daily basis. I have to deliver that job in the near future. That becomes a tremendous pressure, and it creates a certain type of acute stress in your mind. So these are the broad spectrum. Now we will come to the different types of one second. Yeah. Next is various types of examples. Different types of example. You can easily see the picture of here, my dear colleagues, my esteemed colleagues. I have given some basic examples. All of us, most of us have faced this thing in our life in some way or the other, having a job interview. When we started our career as teachers or from other profession, going IT professionals, then salesperson and construction, management workers, and engineers, having faced the first interview, I think many of us remember what happened. I think many of us, don't you agree with me that when you face the first job interview, job interview is what? You have to have a detailed documentation, you need a press CV, Your CV should be well defined. You should have proper academic papers. You should have the technical knowledge and the HR knowledge. So don't you think that when you faced it, when you sat in front of the panel of judges, don't you think that there was a time you were completely tensed? So this kind of thing can, yeah. So can anybody give me one example? Yes. That what was your feeling at that point of time? What was the exact feeling when you, suppose you went for interview in front of principal and panel of experts? Can anybody give me one simple example? What happened on that day? In 1 or 2 lines, you can write in the chat box. In 1 or 2 lines, what happened when you went for the first time, you faced an interview? Yeah, feeling nervous. Yes, you're feeling nervous, right? Extreme pressure. Why you're feeling nervous? Because you have not experienced this kind of feeling in your life, and you are experiencing it for the first time. So this can be one. Secondly, we come to financial problems. Examples of acute stress can be financial problems. As the picture rightly depicts, my dear colleagues, we are now in a pandemic situation. Besides this, these are a very common thing in our life. Crisis, tax, failures, debts, bills, taxation, problems, anxiousness, bankruptcy. See the words, see the keywords at the back of the person. He's totally frustrated and extremely nervous because we have to pay our EMI, equated monthly installments. We have taken a new car, or some of us, many or not many of us, I'm talking about some specific cases, the EMI needs to run. Each one of us in some part in our life must have faced this kind of financial problems. But due to the grace of God, and we have our own resources, I think we have coped, and we need how to cope up the situation. So this kind of financial problem, now coming to the problem, can create a sense of anxiousness and anxiety inside our mind. Don't you think that this is one of the burning issues of today? Because we are in a pandemic situation, we have to be very careful while maintaining our setup. Is it clear up to this, ladies and gentlemen? Am I little, is it clear up to this? Okay, thank you. Next is taking a test. When we take a test, that is a point where some extreme pressure and anxiousness can creep in. First time in our life, or we are individuals, we have crossed many borders, many barriers. We have given graduation, post-graduation, then we went for B.Ed, DLEd or CTED, but when we are going for that CTED exam, or don't you think at that point of time, at that critical juncture, don't you think there can be a stress, there can be a nervousness, anxiety or strain? How much should I score? I have to score that amount which will take me to new heights. Don't you think that that point is very crucial in our life? Because it is a great saying, there's a saying that you are the king on that day, which means whatever you write, whatever you decide on that particular day of the examination is the deciding factor on that particular day. How much qualified you are, how much technically signed you are, does not matter. But at that particular time and on that particular day, you have to decide what exactly you want to write and how much it is technically sound. Yes, we think of good marks. One of my esteemed colleagues has rightly said, we think of good marks and that creates a stress. Coming to the problems now. Stress, symptoms of acute stress. What are the various symptoms of acute stress? As I've rightly said, if not properly treated at that point, it can give you a lot of pressure. It can have anger, we can have anxiety, acute periods of depression. Then anger, sudden, it can have an outburst. There can be outbursts. We can get irritated. I am doing something and suddenly someone is irritating. Someone is disturbing from the back. It can be a sudden spark of anger. We have become anxious because sometimes a critical situation arrives. We have to deliver the job within this fixed duration. And what is the net result, my dear colleagues? The net result is bouts of depression. Although we are capable, although we know that we are capable and we have that capacity to do that job, suddenly we feel depressed due to this kind of distractions. Clear? Okay. Is it clear up to here? Mane, is the acute stress?
Very much
sir.
clear.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next, we come to the types of chronic stress. Next, sorry, I missed out one. So after this acute stress, we will come to different types of stress that is called a chronic stress. Chronic stress builds up when we are exposed to a high pressure situation. Chronic stress builds up when we are exposed to high, this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. This builds up when you are exposed to a high pressure situation over a long period of time. Let me explain it in a greater depth. Many of us in a house, we have people, we have person working for IT sector, for big corporate giants. Then many of us know the work of a medical professional, medical representative, people working in shopping malls, and medical representative. What they exactly do, many of us know. They have to visit nursing home, they have to visit doctor's chamber, they have to visit a lot of retail shop. Why? Because there's a constant pressure every time. I would like to request, please switch off your microphone if anybody has switched on. Kind request to all of you, please. This builds up when you are exposed to a high pressure situation over a long period of time. Every day, the medical representative picks up his bag, and when he starts going, he has a certain deadline that he has to visit this shop, this nursing home, and bring orders. A salesperson walking in a shopping mall, a salesman or saleswoman have to sell this kind of garments. These are high pressure jobs. IT sector. There are IT sector person. Just give me 1 second due to power is off. IT sector people, power failure, sorry for that. This builds up when you're exposed to a high pressure situation over a long period of time. It negatively affects health when ill treated. When you do not have that proper resource and medication, suppose you are constantly on a stress, every day you have to deliver the deliverables, otherwise you can lose your job. This can have a very negative effect in your health when ill treated. What does this mean? Suppose you forget to sleep, it can cause insomnia. I think all of you know what is an insomnia. You lay wide awake throughout the night due to tension, due to this chronic stress. You start having proper sleep. Your digestive system is disturbed. You have gastric problems because you see, when we are under stress, some of us may have the experience of it, that we don't feel like eating something. So when this develops, it can have a disastrous effect and can take a toll in our physical health. Now coming to the types of chronic stress. When we talk of types of chronic stress, basically, it can vary from time to time, but often it is falling under one of the 4 types. It can be emotional stress, difficult emotions such as anger, sadness, frustration, environmental stress where you live and where you work. Let us discuss in detail. Emotional stress. Just like the acute stress, my dear ladies and gentlemen, there's anger, there's sadness, there's frustration, because we fail to deliver at the right time. that can cause a sudden spark of anger. We become sad, become frustrated. These are similar to acute stress, but the duration can be more. We are frustrated. Due to this anxiety and tension, we are frustrated because we are failing to deliver. Environmental stress, where we live, our workplace, work environment, and the place where we live. So there's a famous saying, I think all of you will agree with me, that we should never mix. We should never mix our work environment. We should never mix our work environment with our day-to-day life activities. Our professional life should not be mixed with our personal life, never. Because when the thing is that where you live and where you work, that is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. You have to have a good relation with your peers, with your bosses, with your seniors. Now, I will explain you what happens if you don't have a good relation. Suppose you're having a very turbulent time in your family. You have a stressful life in your family. There can be quarrels, there can be ups and downs. We are individuals. So don't you think, I want an answer from any one of you, don't you think if your personal life is not at ease, there can be turbulent time, don't you think that can have a direct impact on your professional life? I want an answer from any one of you. If your personal life is disturbed, if you're having some problem in your house, there can be many problems, financial problem, health problem. Don't you think it has a direct relation in your workplace? Will you be free? Will you be free to work? I want an answer. Will you be at ease? Will you be at ease to work? I think no. So there is called the environmental stress, where we live and work. Relationship stress, how you relate to friends, how you relate to your friends. We are social animals. We are social. How we relate to our friends, father, mother, relatives, friends, family, co-workers, partner. We cannot live without them because God has taught us to live. It will affect my work adversely. Yes, right, sir, and will be stressed up. So what I mean to say is, if we have a stressful relation in our family, that can directly affect my workplace. If I don't have a good relation with my friends, family, and co-workers, we are teachers, we are communicators now. We are not teachers right now. I think we are communicators because we are communicating with people. If we don't have a good rapport with my colleague, don't you think, who is sitting beside me on a day-to-day basis? If I don't have a good rapport with my senior, with my bosses, don't you think our work, our day-to-day work pattern, will it not suffer? Will it not suffer with my partners? Will it not suffer? It will definitely suffer. So these are all types of chronic stress. Every day you are going, you're having some or the other problem with your co-workers. There can be, not many, some of us maybe have experienced this. Because we are stressed up. And when we are stressed up, we do not feel like. Work stress, challenges, and pressure related. These are more or less what I've discussed just now. From the offline mode, we are going to the online mode, the pressures related to your job, challenges or pressures. Sometimes you're working in a high pressure situation. Then you are being lifted to another more high pressure situation because the management sometimes feel that you're capable of doing something more. So that can be a high pressure job because sometimes you deliver well, but the management think that isse aur bhi acha kaam ho sakta hai. So they will give you a job or an assignment that requires more amounts of challenge, more amount of pressure that can lead to a series of tension. These are all examples of types of chronic states. Causes. What are the various causes of, there are some few examples. Being under lots of pressure. Salesperson, IT sector employees we have just now. Constant pressure. Today we are living in pandemic times, and due to this opening and reopening of marketplace, sometimes due to the government orders, some marketplaces are closed. Sometimes they're open for fixed duration. Sometimes there's a complete closure of marketplace in weekends. So what does this mean? This means if the number of working days is less, all of you must be having that same. You will agree with me. The work of salesperson, IT sector employees, teachers also sometimes, because you see, when the school will reopen, don't you think? I want to ask a very, very casual, a very, very simple question to anyone if you can answer. Don't you think when the school will reopen, you will not have to revise those chapters which you have done it in online? Don't you think so? Don't you think that when the school will reopen, don't you think whatever you have taught in the online mode, you will not have to repeat that? This can be again same thing. So this kind of change in the situation, yes, my dear ladies and gentlemen, we have to do. Facing big challenges. We are now from offline mode to the online mode. We are facing big challenges. I myself has faced, I think many of you like me have faced, new technologies have come. New chat technologies have come. We are now like in Zoom, we have WebEx, we have Skype, we have Google Classroom. Did we know this ago? No. We are not exposed to this kind of tech, facing big changes. A person who is not a person from a different background, from vernacular background. Many teachers were not very adept. What are the advantages of this? We are now more technically sound. We have become much more technically sound by facing these big challenges, right? We have much more technically sound. Next is not having much or any control over the outcome of a situation. Technical glitches. For example, I'm taking this class. Let us be very practical. Suppose you're taking an online class. There can be instances, there can be a power cut. There can be a technical snag. There can be a disruption in your network connectivity. So is it in your hand? Your mobile, these are all electronic devices, right?
Dear participants, please keep your mic muted to let the resource person to continue the session. Please cooperate.
Okay. Not having much or any control of this situation. So, and still facing, we have, so this kind of problems can lead has a direct impact on your stress situation. It has a direct impact on your stress situation. Times of uncertainty, hoping for normalcy. Hoping for normalcy, we are always hoping that the normal days will crop up, the schools will reopen, we will face. So that can also build up a stress. These are all stressful situations. Because some of us, not many of us, some of us may be uncomfortable due to this online mode. Because our main forte is what? Our main forte is classroom, chalk and duster, students in front of us. Don't you think this is our normal procedure? And the smart classes. So this sometimes, not always, sometimes it can give a negative impact and lead to some chronic stress. What are the effects of chronic stress? I would like to discuss now. Just as the duration here is much more, the effects of chronic stress. What are the different effects of chronic stress? Anxiety. We can have depression. A lot of depression can be there. There can be digestive problems. There can be headaches. There can be muscle tension and there can be muscle tension and pain. There can be heart disease, mood swings. So we can have a different type of mood swings. We can have high blood pressure and stroke, insomnia, sleep problems. So sometimes it is short-lived, as in the case but sometimes it is long. That is when we have in the chronic stress. Chronic stress, the duration is much more, and in acute stress, the duration is less. Next is we will discuss some aspects over here. Now, having said this, now I will shift my focus to some remedies and solutions, because every problem in this world has to have some solution. I have formulated, I have gathered and collected some basic realistic solutions and goals, which I think, again I say, which I think can help you or may help you in reducing your stress, whether it is chronic in a day-to-day basis. Set realistic goals, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very important. Set small realistic goals for yourself that is achievable each day. Otherwise, you get demotivated and disheartened. Suppose, very simple example I want to give you. You are capable of checking 10 copies a day. Suddenly, if you say that I can check 50, 100 copies, that's unrealistic. Someone gives you, and suppose you say, yes, I will check 100 copies a day. Is it possible? It is possible, but you can falter, you can make errors, and it can create a stress. So the thing which is never achievable by you, do not set those goals for yourself, because if you falter, you get demotivated. Ye kaam to mere se nahi ho paya. I have faltered, so you become disheartened, you become totally demotivated, right? Because you fail to do it, although you're capable. But why do you fail to do it? Because you have set some unrealistic and unachievable goals for yourself. We have to plan everything. This is, I think most of us do us. I am sitting in front of a panel of esteemed teachers, school heads. We are all experienced. I think most of us, we do this one. Urgent, we have to categorize. We have to keep a diary. We have to keep a diary, right? So don't you think it will help you a lot? Every day you jot down the points. I think most of you do. What you are going to do on a particular day, try to jot down the points. Keep a diary. Urgent and important. I want to ask here one simple question to one esteemed colleagues. What is the most urgent and important work that you do when you reach your school? Can anybody tell me? The first thing. What is the most urgent and important work which we do when we reach our school? Can anybody tell me? What is the first thing when you reach your school, what you do? The most urgent, yes, very good. Making attendance. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Marking our attendance. That is the main thing. So don't you think that, is there any other work which is much more important, urgent than that? First is this one. Then you go to your workplace, and when you reach your workplace, you start scanning your daily timetable. What are the periods for that day, your lesson plan, your books. Then you start your work. So these are the urgent and important, your academic matters. What are non-urgent but important? What can be the non-urgent but important? Can anybody give me an example? Yes. What is a non-urgent but important? Non-urgent is, suppose you have to check 60 papers and you have been given 15 days time. 60 question papers you have to check after 15 days. Try to understand the concept. But some of us have that kind of attitude. We want to finish our work very early so that we can be free. Isme kya hota hai? The thing is that when you start doing that, you start faltering. Because you start and you make you create a deadline for yourself, because you say that I will have to finish this 60 copies today only. So this is non-urgent but important. It is an important work. You have to deliver after 15 days, but you start the work now. What is non-urgent and non-important, my dear ladies and gentlemen? Yes, the non-urgent and unimportant thing is obviously the social networking sites and the various distractions which we sometimes, I'm not saying, sometimes accidentally, galti se, sometimes we do when we are doing the most important thing, that can be the non-urgent and non-important. Minimize distraction. Very, very important. Third point which I want to harp upon is social media. We have to avoid it during the execution of important tasks. All of you are into social media. All of us are into social media because we are social beings. That indulgence, that activity in the social media should be very systematic and very constructive. Avoid it during execution of important tasks. When you're doing your work, when you're doing something which is very important, you please, that is a very good suggestion from my part. Everybody knows this, that we have to avoid it during execution. Of course, we should be in social media, but not at the cost of doing something which is very important at that particular time. Let us finish the work and then we can start relaxing and having this kind of activities. Isolate yourself, very important. My dear esteemed colleagues, we should isolate ourselves to avoid distractions which you feel may hamper your task. This may hamper your task totally. Isolate yourself. Please isolate yourself. Suppose you are doing something very important and you are seeing a group of people discussing. This is a very common thing in our day-to-day life. You want to indulge in that. You want to go and listen what is happening. That is very, very distractive. Isolate yourself to avoid distraction because you feel this can hamper your task. What the most important part at that day can get hampered, because without doing your most important thing, you are going there and you're listening what the other person is saying. Don't you think this is a distraction? I want a feedback from you. Am I correct or am I wrong? Don't you think, sir, that this is a distraction? Don't you think this is a distraction and we should not do it? We should not do it. First of all, we should complete our work first and then we can have. So this is very common. I don't have to explain, because all of you are very experienced and you're very educated. You know what is to be done when we are, yes. Next is the 4 Ds we need to practice. The 4 Ds which we need to practice, which can eradicate the confusion, the stress, the tension and strain which can build up in our mind. The 4 Ds are very important. Delete, do, defer, and the next is we will discuss, that is delegate. So first of all, we come to delete. As it is rightly said, delete or discard unnecessary papers, items, and other peripherals from your workstation. Delete. When you reach your workstation, ladies and gentlemen, you can have lots of papers. Many of us, it's accidentally, janbujh ke nahi hota hai, because we have papers from previous sessions also. We are now in 22-23 session. So don't you think that we should keep papers, documentations, and paraphernalia? We should keep this paraphernalia on a table which belongs to 2021 session or 1920 session. Yes, some papers can be very important, which can be the formats. But don't you think other things, are they important? I don't think so. So first of all, delete that. Discard unnecessary papers, items, make your table clean and tidy, and only keep those books, articles like lesson plan, diary, your textbooks, copies, and your pens and other what academic stuff is needed. Only keep those in the workstation. So if you see your workstation completely neat and clean, you will find a better way to perform. That is my suggestion. That is just my suggestion. Ladies and gentlemen, you are your best judge. Perform or resolve the most urgent task without any delay. This is very, very important. This is very, very important, which I have told, which I'm reiterating again and again. We have certain basic tasks when we reach our destination. We have to perform it. First of all, whatever your senior has given you a day before, please do that on a priority basis. We'll use the particular word over here is priority. Particular word is priority. What the part which is most important that you should do first. Sab kuch bhul jaiye. You forget everything. First of all, what is being given or assigned to you by your senior, you have to do it. Or what is the primary job of a teacher when you reach your destination, you have to do it. Yes. Next. Very good, sir. We cannot procrastinate important things. Next of all, we go to the third, that is delegate. This is a little bit sensitive issue I would like to stress upon. Consult or take assistance. Consult, yes, I think, yeah, one sec. Yeah, do perform the most urgent task without any delay. Delegate is consulting or taking assistance from your peer to complete a task or to lighten your workload. What does this mean? Suppose you are working with your colleague for the past 10 years, 5 years, 7 years, and you know what is the capability of your colleague. What work you can do, she or he can do the same amount of work, but sometimes many of us are much more effective. God has given us some special capabilities and capacities. So some colleagues may be doing the work much faster, much quicker, in a much more efficient way. So you can request, I am telling only to request, or you can consult, you take assistance from your peer. Suppose you have a tremendous workload. You have to check on 60 to 50 copies per day. Just now we were talking, unrealistic, so that can be done. So this problem can be solved. Suppose you have given 100 copies to check per day. Suppose a situation may arise. You can request your colleague to help you out. That is called delegation. If he or she is willing, but for that you need to have a very good rapport with your colleague. For that, you have to have a very good with your colleague. Am I audible to you, sir? Am I audible now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So therefore, the last thing is, if any task cannot be completed immediately, you have to schedule a fixed time. You have to schedule a fixed time. Do not give false promises. Do not make false prediction. Because you have some limited capability, limited capacity. God has given you, but sometimes we exceed that. We make some prediction that is very unrealistic. So don't do that. If you cannot finish a particular task on a particular day, you defer it. That deadline is in your hand. If you are given a chance to predict your deadline for completing a task, you have to do it. If you are given a task, take a break. Very, very important is take a break. Move around between schedules. Many of us you see in IT sector, in various IT sectors, in various corporate sectors, separate room has now been built. A separate room is now built for relaxation techniques. After a hard day's work, you start relaxing. You stretch yourself. You practice some free hand exercises. So this is very, very, very important nowadays, because we are stressed every day. We have to go for the online sessions. We have to finish our syllabus. We have to complete the syllabus, set question papers, copy checking is there, declaration of result. These are all important work of a teacher that can be stressful at some time. So you just get up from your workstation. Suppose you're checking the copies. You have to check 20 to 30 copies. After checking 10 copies, you get up, you move around inside the staff room. I have seen myself, many of my friends work in IT sectors. They are working round the clock sometimes because their time schedule is very tight. They have to finish their project. So what they do, After doing for some time, they move out and they go to the next room. That's a relaxation room made by the company. That's a relaxation room. There they stretch, they go out for fresh air. So these kind of things may help you a lot. Plan ahead. That is, we have to plan our work. We have to plan very nicely. We have to plan out our work very nicely. Plan out your work for the day. Focus one job at a time. Planning is very important. Just now, which I've said, that is, planning is very, very important. Planning is very important. We have to plan out for the day. Focus on one job at a time. Do not mix different types of jobs. Suppose you are doing a work that is related to physics or chemistry. Suddenly you start another job that is not related to this. So that can be a mix-up. And when there's a mix-up, there is a total hodgepodge situation causing anxiety and strain. So plan ahead. आने वाले 5 दिनों में हमें क्या करना है? Plan ahead what you will do in the forthcoming next few days, one job at a time. Make a to-do list. That is very, very important. Make a to-do list. Just have said that you maintain a diary. For example, today is Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday, I have to do this. So when you finish that job, you strike out. That can erase your tension. So that can seize your tension from time to time. That can seize your tension from time to time. Next, meditation techniques. Meditation. Find a quiet place and sit in a very comfortable position. This is one of the most tested and one of the best solutions for erasing and for decreasing your pressure and tension. Meditation. Find a quiet place and sit in a comfortable position. Check whether it is a quiet place or not. Find a quiet place. Take a few slow and deep breaths. All of you know that inhalation and exhalation. When you inhale, you take out and you breathe out, that is exhalation. When you breathe out, you relax. Focus on a particular object. I will show you some graphics which will help you to have that correct posture while meditating. Focus on a particular object while meditating. Focus on a particular object while we are meditating. That object can be your book. That object can be a mirror. Because why do you want to focus? When you focus, there can be an increase in your concentration level. Just you sit like this and you check and you see the bulb is glowing. For example, I'm sitting here and I'm seeing one bulb is glowing, and continuously if I see that, the level of concentration can increase. A word, a scene. Think of a word which you have heard for the first time in your life. You have not heard. Every day we are learning new words. It's an ocean. English is basically a vast ocean. Anybody say? So every day we are learning a new word, a new scene which you have. It can be from a movie, it can be from a documentary, it can be from image. Concentrate on that. It will have a very good effect on your mental health. So these are the techniques. Coming to the end of the session, I want to share you some photographs, some images that depicts the various stages of meditation. Various stages of meditation, these are all very important. You can have a glimpse. For example, find a quiet place. When the first important thing for meditation is, we have to find a quiet place. Sit in a straight back posture. For example, I like this, you find a quiet place, you have to sit like this. Third, you have to close your eyes and you have to relax. Watch your breath. When we inhale, we take in air and your diaphragm, this part is our diaphragm, it expands. When we exhale, the air comes out and there's a contraction of the diaphragm. So what are these? These are parts of meditation techniques. All of us know this, and these are very simple techniques. Next is the 1 minute meditation. This is a very tested, all of us can have this kind of thing. 1 minute meditation. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 steps. These 10 steps, if you perform 6 seconds per step, that is a 1 minute meditation. I repeat, can you see this picture, ladies and gentlemen, which I'm showing right now? Okay, is it visible to all of you, those who are seeing the presentation? Is this visible? Okay. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. We have to breathe in through the nose, we have to breathe out through the mouth. Then, feeling the lungs expanding. When we feel, then breathe out, feeling a sense of letting go. Breathe in to feel the body getting fuller. Breathe out to feel the release of any tension. Breathe in, feeling alive and awake. Breathe out, feeling muscles relaxing. Breathe in that sense of fullness. You're taking air inside, sense of fullness. Breathe out that unnecessary tension. So these are all tested meditation techniques. Yeah, these are all tested meditation techniques, which I think all of us are well accustomed, and I hope this will bring out a change in your day-to-day. Next is, last but not least, there are 1 or 2 more slides. You can have a quick glimpse on it, and then you can ask me question if there's any doubt. Tips to relieve stress. What are the various tips to relieve stress? Exercise, very, very important. In the morning or during the evening time, start jogging at a slow pace, not in a fast pace. Playing with a pet, dog. Many of us have kept dog or cat in the houses. So playing with your pet can give you a mental relaxation. It can give a tremendous mental relaxation, pastime. Taking a nap is very important. We should have 5 to 6 hours of sound sleep. That is taking a nap. When you take a nap, automatically your tension is released, pressure is released. Listen to some light music. It can be sitar. It can be a violin. So listen to light sitar when you go for a sleep at the end of the day. Meditate.
बोस सर अनम्यूट हो गया, अनम्यूट हो गया. You are unmute.
Acha. Now it is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So only 1 or 2 minutes left, sir. Just I'm going to show these images. So, and the last but not least is the various stress management we all know. That is stress management at work. Sitting, these are the various postures. You can have a quick look at it. Like when you go for a relaxation technique, sit on a chair in this position, scrunch up your face. Sometimes you can scrunch up like this. You scrunch up means you just contract your muscles and then you can relax it. You can tense your arms. You can see the picture and practice yourself. You can relax them. Tense up your shoulders and chest, then relax them. Tense up your legs, then you can relax them. Breathe in relaxation and breathe out tension. That pranayama, all those. So that's all from my side, ladies and gentlemen. So I have tried my best. I don't know whether I've succeeded or not, but I've tried my best. It was nice talking to you. It was nice communicating with all of you. And thanks for joining me. It was a great privilege that I've been given this chance to be in front of you, such esteemed panel of teachers. So thanks everyone. So any question to be asked? Rajiv sir? Okay.
Sir, you can take question if anybody having.
That I've already asked. Any question from your side, ladies and gentlemen? From my end, it is okay.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Pradeep here.
First,
let me congratulate you. Your session was excellent.
Thank you,
I
sir.
liked it. And my question is, sir, when you are extremely emotionally tensed, then is there any way out how to relief from that stress when
Okay.
you are really emotionally down?
So that I have categorized into two parts, that is acute stress and chronic stress, that we have to differentiate. If you have the resource, sir, if you have the resource, then you should immediately start following that procedure. For example, if you have that particular resource in front of you, like tense, suppose in a long, like you can go for listening to music, you can have these meditation techniques, and but for the time being, you have to face that challenge. You have to keep calm, you have to keep your composure. First of all, you should isolate, because I myself have tried and I have got very positive result. You isolate yourself first, sir. First step, isolate ho jaiye, and then you think what is the problem and what are the resources in my hand. मेरे हाथ में resources क्या है? Am I able to solve it now, or will it take some more time to solve it? So that should be your judgment first. I will isolate myself and I will then start working on the problem. That I think may cease your tension for the time being. Because if you are tensed, then nothing will happen. It will aggravate your anger. It will aggravate your. You can go out, you can take a fresh air, and then you can come back, and again, then you can think about the problem.
Yes. So we can do what we love to do.
Yes, definitely. The most important thing, which I think, sir, as far as my experience goes, we should love what we do.
Yes.
We are never old. There's a famous, a man is old when he thinks he's old. Right, sir. So we have to be jolly always and think positive, because the doctors today says that the first part of the first remedy of a disease is to think positive. We under any circumstance, sir, we cannot think in a negative way, because it has been proved time and again that negative thoughts gives negative results. Positive thoughts will give you positive results. No matter what happens in your life, be positive always. It's very, very, very easy to speak sometimes, but we should follow that. That's mine.
Perfect answer, sir. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, Rajiv, sir.
Yes, Supritam Bose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was really wonderful and very informative session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Covering almost all the areas related to stress management.
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
And I'm sure that all the participants, they have also enjoyed the session of Mr. Bose. And it was really very learning and wonderful session. Bose, thank you for presenting that.
Thank you, sir. I'm privileged.
Yes, particularly lady teachers, they have to manage their stress at so many places.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
They will have to look after their children, their family, their home, at home. So naturally, they are at stress. Then when they go to their workplace, there they have to meet a lot of stress there. They will have to check their home assignment copies. They will have to handle children there. Then they will have to handle parents also. So there are so many stress, and then at the same time, of course, head of the school also, school management also. So they are really under a lot of stress, and this corona has given another stress to manage classes online and all. They will have to learn. I was out of station. I have just reached my home back, but I enjoyed your session on YouTube channel.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I have just in when I got a seat on this. So
thank you so much, sir.
It was really wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
And
thanks for your inspiring words.
Thank you, Rajiv. And gents also, gents teachers, they also face a lot of stress, not only at their workplace, but they will have to manage their family. As you were saying, sometimes it is financial stress, sometimes it is official stress, sometimes it is sentimental stress. sometimes it is physical stress.
Right.
So,
sir.
so it is important how to manage that stress at home, in the society when we are in our social life, and as well as in our office also. So the ways you have, which you have 4 Ds, that
Yes,
is
sir.
very important to manage those 4 Ds. Okay,
Right.
delete. So,
Delete, do, so I
4
think
Ds also.
or that
Thank you,
pressure can be
Rajiv.
easy. Right?
And thank you, Salinder sir, principal of Modern School. Thank you very much, Salinder sir,
Thank you. Welcome, sir. Thank you,
for
sir.
arranging such nice sessions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Today's session, what I felt, that Mr. Bose proved to be the boss of the in-house training so far we have conducted.
Yes, of course it was. It
No,
was
sir,
really
nothing of
very
that.
good.
Sahadeya complex. It was so engaging, so articulating. It was so fantastic experience. I didn't feel that I am attending in-house training, sir, at any point of time. I didn't feel that. It was so nice. I really feel very engrossed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you, sir.
very relevant, very peacefully, very calmly. He explained everything and he engaged also all the participants by asking questions time and again. And it
Yes,
was
sir.
wonderful, wonderful experience
Thank you,
today.
sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
These are
really.
very
So
helpful. I have tried my
yeah.
best, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks to
Yeah.
Rajiv also for technological support. Rajiv,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
thanks to you also for this technological support. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Thank you, sir.
Participants, kindly fill your assessment form already given in the link as well as on the YouTube channel.
Okay. Rajiv, sir, can I leave? No.
Yeah, you can leave, sir. No problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.